Cristiano Ronaldo once said that Michael Carrick could become a great coach. At the time, it felt like a nice comment from a former teammate. Now though, it's starting to look like Ronaldo knew something that others didn't.
Kobe Mainu turns it around the corner to Brian and Buma, and Buma passes it into the box. Diogo Dalot does just that, looking for Šeško, turned home, Bruno Fernandes! Manchester United do have a second, his 6th goal of the season in the Premier League, poked home at the Stretford end, captain, fantastic, done it again!
Since stepping in as Manchester United's interim manager, Carrick has had an instant impact.
Today was a performance that you look at and you go, listen, if this man can build something, he deserves it for me. I don't see the point in looking elsewhere, and you can always say, yeah, that looks good, oh yeah, that looks nice over there. You know what? Stick with what you got, baby.
I mean, the mood around the club has completely flipped. I'm seeing friends of mine who were United fans finally come out of their caves. And that's because the results have followed Carrick. Win after win, with 2 of the wins being against the 2 best sides in the Premier League.
To get a response and a performance like that in that short space of time.
What they've done has been absolutely fantastic. And I think more than anything, they've been talking to them. They made them understand what Manchester United is supposed to be.
United beat Man City in the derby, and then went and beat Set Piece FC at their own ground.
It's the manner in which you win a game. If United would have fluked this game 1-0, I would tend to agree with it, but they had 5 and 6 clear opportunities. They defended well and they looked organised as a group.
2 massive wins. Now those results have brought old words back into the spotlight, specifically Ronaldo's words. His quote was from back in December of 2021 when Carrick first took charge of United temporarily. Ronaldo said that nothing is impossible for Carrick and called him a future top coach. It's funny because during that first spell, Carrick also beat Arsenal. Now that was a far weaker Arsenal team, but it's funny how history keeps repeating itself. I'm telling you guys, football is just one massive script. At the time, Carrick had only had 3 games in charge. It was Arsenal, Chelsea, and Villarreal, but he went unbeaten. He got a win over the Gunners.
Could be an issue here though. Here's Fred. And finally, United get it right. It's Rashford looking for Ronaldo, and that was all too easy. Up against Ramsdale. Another penalty.
He got a draw at Stamford Bridge.
Keeper the wrong way, and Manchester United lead.
And he beat Villarreal away.
High up the field, it's Ronaldo with a chip! He still reigns in Spain. Cristiano Ronaldo with him. Sancho! Jadon Sancho makes his mark in a United shirt. He smashes home.
It was pretty impressive. Yes, it was overlooked at the time, but for someone with 0 experience as a head coach to win those games, in my opinion, that's impressive. Even more so when you consider the pressure and chaos around the club at the time. Now, years later, Carrick is no longer flying under the radar. Everybody's talking about him, everybody's talking about Manchester United, and Ronaldo's words have been spot on. And keep in mind, Ronaldo was actually benched at one point by Carrick, and yet he still had a ton of respect for the Englishman.
Cristiano Ronaldo, substitute today, what's he thinking?
Yeah, a few tweaks and changes from the other night, freshen things up a little bit. Obviously Anthony and Donny as well, and yeah, of course Cristiano is probably your standout name. But yeah, just game plan ideas. Had a good chat with Cristiano. Actually, he was great, and we've decided to go like that today. So really looking forward to the game.
So it's a decision that's big enough that it needs one-to-one explaining, though.
It's a decision just to pick a team, to be honest. Don't think it needs any more drama than that.
The reason that Ronaldo had such a unique perspective is that Carrick is one of the only people to have both played with Ronaldo and managed him. That longevity is honestly crazy when you think about it.
Cristiano, you're one of the only people that's actually coached him and played with him.
There was a hell of a buzz around the place when he came back. It was an incredible kind of feeling around those games, and then him coming back, and it was just seeing him back around the building was weird, but it was. From a coaching point of view, I was really conscious of then treating him very different to when I would treat some of the younger players or the ones that really intense, trying to help a lot and trying to develop them. He's at the end where, you know, he is what he is, you know, and you respect what he is, and we give him a few kind of pointers for the team, but it was really, you're not going to coach him. There's no way I'm coaching him about his runs or where to finish.
Carrick was there right alongside CR7 during the most successful period in Manchester United's history. They both get United. They know what winning there feels like, what it sounds like. Carrick lived through the glory years under Sir Alex Ferguson and won pretty much everything there was to win. People laugh at the term United DNA, but when a club is trying to find itself again, having someone who truly understands the standards that the club used to operate at really matters. Because again, before the suit and the touchline, Carrick was pulling the strings for United in the middle of the park. He was never a flashy player. His game was built on intelligence, being calm, and in control. United signed him from Tottenham in 2006, and straight away he had one of the hardest jobs in football, which was to fill the gap left by Roy Keane. For 12 seasons, Carrick was at the heart of United's midfield. Most weeks you probably didn't even notice him. Your eyes went to Rooney, Ronaldo, Berbatov, Van Persie. But behind all of those guys, Carrick was the one keeping everything together. I mean, this guy's passing was so clean. He had perfect positioning. And under pressure, he never panicked. Either he was baked or he had post-nut clarity. I don't know which one, but he was one of the most press-resistant players I've ever seen. He was like an English Sergio Busquets. When he played, United felt calm and in control, which is the opposite of how they feel when Ugarte comes into the match.
Do we get points for like who looks the best throwing it as well?
No,
because
no,
this
no.
is really bad. Like,
With Carrick as their pivot, United won a lot. 5 Premier League titles, a Champions League in 2008, a Europa League in 2017, FA Cups, League Cups. Carrick won everything. He was one of the most underrated players of his generation. I mean, if he played now, they would be crying that he doesn't get enough goals and assists. But the people who knew football knew his value. Sir Alex Ferguson once called him the best central midfielder in English football. And honestly, I get it. He read the game better than almost anyone. He knew when to slow things down and when to speed them up. Alongside Paul Scholes, they formed a midfield built on pure footballing IQ. Like, people glaze the physicality of the Premier League, but these two guys ran it for years, and neither of them are fast or strong or that big. By the time he retired in 2018, Carrick had made 464 appearances for United and was rightfully seen as a club legend. He even captained the team in the final season, which is a reminder to you guys about the respect that he had in the dressing room. That playing career is the foundation of who Carrick is as a manager. It's what has helped him be such a good interim manager for United right now. Now, after he played and retired, he didn't waste any time. As soon as he hung up the boots, he moved straight into coaching at United. He joined Mourinho's staff and later stayed on under Ole. It was a natural transition from playing to coaching, because even as a player, Carrick was already organizing his teammates, talking people through the games, and seeing things that others couldn't. It's pretty simple. If you were a world-class holding midfielder, you're probably gonna make it as a coach, or at least you have a very high chance. Those years on the coaching staff were Carrick's apprenticeship. He wasn't controlling games from the midfield anymore. Rather, he was learning how to manage players, prepare teams for match day, and handle the pressure just from the bench. Working under 2 very different managers also helped him. Mourinho taught him the dark arts. Ole showed him how important it is to keep a dressing room together. Kind of a yin and yang approach for Carrick's managerial development. This is probably why the players speak so highly about him despite only being managed by him for such a short period of time.
This is football. Football changes from one game to another. So I think Michael came in with the right ideas of giving the players the responsibility also, but some freedom to take the responsibility of on the pitch doing the decisions that were needed. It's very good with the words. I think he still remembers what I told him the last time he was our manager for our last game, and I was sure that Michael could be a great manager, and he's just showing it, and we hope that we can help him even more. So everyone can see not just us as players that we are good players. That's why we are at Man United, but also the staff is very good.
I mean, Casemiro was literally jumping on him at one point. Never saw anyone interacting like that with Amorim. Now, Carrick helping United to get a new manager bounce shouldn't be that surprising, given that he had a similar impact in his first season at Middlesbrough. When he arrived in October of 2022, the club was in real trouble. They were sitting 21st in the championship. They were low on confidence and were close to relegation. But Carrick didn't panic, and he didn't need that much time to make an impact. Just like his time at United, almost immediately, things changed. Middlesbrough started winning games. Lots of them. In fact, Carrick won 13 of his first 17 matches in charge. Just like that, Middlesbrough flew up the table and were sitting third by February. A team that looked doomed and gone was suddenly looking at promotion. That turnaround tells you a lot about Carrick as a coach. He knows how to lift the players, to simplify things, and to give a group of guys belief fast, which is exactly what United fans are seeing now. They went from being told that they had to suffer to being towards the top of the table. Now, you guys remember how I stated earlier that Carrick learned a ton from working under Ole? Well, his start at United feels very similar to Ole's start. Ole's first few weeks back in 2018, he managed 4 games and he got 4 wins. Just like now, Old Trafford was buzzing again. United look alive, confident. They're playing with freedom, and that's the biggest similarity. Just like Ole did back then, Carrick has come in and instantly lifted the mood. The football is a lot simpler. The players are playing with more energy, and they look like they're actually enjoying playing football. I mean, beating teams at the top of the table is a lot more fun than losing to Grimsby. United have scored more goals and conceded less under Carrick. A big jump from what we saw from the final weeks under Amorim, because even though they were getting better under Amorim and were 6th, they were not playing like this. And also keep in mind that United have put on these great performances against much tougher opponents. They beat an informed Fulham team, as well as City and Arsenal, and in a lot of these games they could have scored even more. The biggest change, like I said, is freedom. Carrick has stripped things back, and he's given players the responsibility to make decisions on the fly. There's no overthinking, there's no fear of going forward. The squad is actually playing with purpose. It's the same things that people said about Ole's early days. United are playing like United again. It's a throwback to the way that United played back when Ole and Carrick were both players. Now, under Ole, it was Pogba who benefited the most. He was finally unleashed in that number 10 role. Now, it's Bruno Fernandes. Carrick has pushed him higher up the pitch, and the impact has been instant. In the first 4 games under Carrick, Bruno had 4 assists and a goal. Amorim really had this demon playing as a double pivot in a 3-back system. Between that and wasting a year of Mainoo's career, I genuinely believe United should be able to sue Amorim.
How embarrassing does it look for Ruben Amorim at the minute?
I was thinking the same thing. Do you know what? You know, if I was Kobe Mainoo, and I say this in jest, I'd be thinking about whether I should sue him or not. I mean, he's taken a year out of that kid's career. This kid is a wonderful footballer. I mean, God, he makes it look so easy. He wants the ball, he receives it with anyone around him, and he turns, always makes the right decisions. He's graceful. I mean,
I can't stop laughing at your comment. I would sue him.
I mean, come on.
Bruno himself has said that Carrick gives the players freedom and trusts them to make the right decisions on the pitch. I mean, you can see the impact of it on the pitch. United are so much more dangerous on the break. They're very aggressive without the ball, and the matches are end-to-end again. Gary Neville actually talked about this after the Derby win.
If you think about where probably Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox thought they were going to be maybe a few weeks ago, is that Michael Carrick at the end of the season, Manchester United might be in 6th or 7th, and they're making a decision whereby they're not in the Champions League. This is perfect. This is exactly what they would have wanted, where there is a complete and utter uplifting performance. There's more faith being built in the players. The players all of a sudden look like they can play football at the level that they were when they signed. And Manchester United can make a decision at the end of the season based on the managers that make themselves available. And let's see what they do. My opinion is not the important one. It's the opinion of what those Manchester United executives think at the end of the season when they're interviewing the likes of Tuchel and Howe and Ancelotti, Nagelsmann, whoever else, Enrique, Carrick, etc. Hopefully they'll have a lot of choice and they'll be able to make that choice well.
For years, United fans were told that they couldn't play like this anymore. Then Carrick turns up and suddenly they're doing exactly that. Now the big question is what happens next? That's where the Ole comparisons get a little uncomfortable, because Ole also won his first few games, then got the job permanently, and then things slowly fell apart. United have been burned by false hope before, and a lot of people haven't forgotten that. That's why there's still hesitation around Michael Carrick. I mean, you had Roy Keane saying that no matter how many games Carrick wins, United shouldn't rush to give him the job. Now, despite what the critics might say, Carrick's impact is so visible on the team, especially defensively. What Carrick has really changed is how United defend. They defend as a team now. They move together, and if someone gets beaten, there's always cover nearby. United are also smarter when it comes to letting teams have the ball. They will allow passes into certain areas because they know that once the danger increases, help is already there. In that way, they can control their press. You saw this perfectly in the Manchester derby with Erling Haaland. Even when he looked free, he really wasn't. Every time he thought he had space, someone was already close enough to step in, to block the run or cut off the angle. The Norwegian robot never really felt comfortable, and that doesn't happen by accident, because the last time he played United, he dunked his balls on them. This kind of defending is the result of a team that knows its shape, trusts each other, and defend together. Now take a look at this clip. Fulham have a player free on the edge of the box. If United were man marking, Kobbie Mainoo would have to step out and chase him, which would leave the middle completely open. The middle being completely open was the common theme under Erik ten Hag. But that's not what Carrick wants. Instead, Mainoo stays focused on protecting the center. Then Cunha's job is to block the passing lanes out wide. Now Cunha actually misses it and the pass still gets through. But that's where Carrick's system steps in. Because United are compact, Shaw and Mainoo can instantly step in together, swarm the ball, and shut everything down. Nobody has to panic, they don't have to scramble, they just have enough numbers around the ball that the attacker has nowhere to go. When United lose the ball, the first thing you'll notice is what they don't do. They don't all just sprint forward trying to win it back straight away and risk getting caught out of shape. Instead, their first reaction is to get back into position. Now, that doesn't mean they just drop off and invite pressure. Yes, they're happy to give teams space at the back, but they keep the block tight. The middle of the pitch stays crowded. The passing lanes into the midfield are cut off, and suddenly there's nowhere easy to play through. And if a team wants their center backs to step forward with the ball, like Arsenal, like Man City, United are perfectly fine with that. They'll let it happen. That's actually a part of their plan. The center backs are not the ones they're afraid of, because they know those are not the players who will hurt you. So when a center back carries the ball, United get even more compact behind it. The space shrinks, the options disappear, and getting the ball into the dangerous players higher up the pitch becomes way harder. On top of the tactics, the biggest thing you notice is that United look happy again, like genuinely happy. The players are all smiling, humping each other after every single goal, and the fans can't actually wait to watch Carrick ball. Good vibes really matters more than people think. Because when Amorim was sacked, United weren't in freefall. They were 6th in the table. There were actually a lot of positives. But the mood and atmosphere around the team wasn't that great. Since Carrick stepped in though, they're not only winning games, but they look happy while doing it. Of course, tactically there's been tweaks. The shape has shifted to a 4-2-3-1 that then turns into a 4-4-2 when they defend. But you look at the players and they're genuinely playing with joy. You got Kobbie Mainoo who's back where he belongs in midfield. You got Mbeumo who's being used more as a 9 and he continued to score goals. And you see it in their celebrations. When Bruno scored against Spurs, he didn't run to the corner or to the fans. He ran straight to the bench. He wanted to celebrate with the subs, the fringe players, guys who haven't played much at all. And when you see them all piling in together, smiling, laughing, genuinely buzzing, it gives United fans optimism about the future. Some of the players who have barely kicked the ball under Carrick, like Xerxes and Euro, were right there in the celebrations. They were fully a part of it, and that tells you how united the team is. Excuse the pun. The team is playing for each other again. Even when things don't come off, like Ahmad shoots a ball back to the Ivory Coast, or a pass gets cut out, nobody throws their arm up. Nobody throws a fit. They actually encourage each other. They motivate each other to keep playing. And that's a massive cultural shift. Under Amorim, you would see the heads drop instantly. You don't see that under Carrick. And the great thing about Carrick is that he hasn't killed the creativity to do this. He's actually done the opposite. He's made the team more organized and tougher to break down, but he's given the best players more freedom. Cunha looks way better in this 4-2-3-1 system. He can drift around, finds himself in more pockets of space. The same thing can be said about Mbeumo. Their movement drags defenders all over the place, and it opens up the space for Bruno and Ahmad to play between the lines. It's confident football, it's fluid, it's fun. This version of United has balance. They have swagger and control. But more than anything, like I said earlier, they have a sense of togetherness. And that's Carrick's biggest achievement so far. It's not just the wins, but it's rebuilding a team that looks way more connected and organized and actually excited to play football again. Now, the player that has benefited tremendously from Carrick is Kobbie Mainoo. To see how he went from a superstar to being benched back to being a star again, you have to watch this video right here.